Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel. Today I'm super excited because we have made 2 years today in uploading videos on YouTube, and it has been an amazing journey. I remember it was on the 9th of April 2023 when I uploaded the first video ever on YouTube, and today being the 9th of April 2025, it makes us 2 years in YouTube. And I'm so grateful to all of you for working with me through this journey in promoting organic poultry farming. Okay, and today I also want us to look at we are going to deworm the birds, okay, and we are going to use our organic remedies. But before we do that, I want us to understand when is the right time for you to start deworming your birds and some of the reasons why you must deworm your birds. Now, the right time for you to start deworming the birds is when those birds have made 8 weeks old. Okay, between 8 weeks to 12 weeks at least, you should start deworming the birds. Okay, and you have to keep deworming those birds with our organic remedies at least every month. Okay, at least every month you're supposed to deworm the birds. But for those who are using the modern medicines, you always deworm those birds after 8 weeks. Okay, but with our organic remedies, I say let us keep deworming the birds after every month. Okay, so that means after 4 weeks you have to deworm the birds. After 4 weeks you have to do the deworming of your birds. And then why do we deworm our birds? First of all, to prevent the spread of those worms, because once those birds start dilating the worms, you realize that it keeps spreading throughout the farm, because once another bird step on that dropping, that is how it keeps on spreading. And then another thing, to promote uniform growth. Okay, you realize that these worms greatly affect some of these birds and makes them not to grow very well. So you realize that other birds will end up growing and other birds will end up being stunted. So that is why we have to keep deworming our birds. And then also to promote egg production, because in most cases when these birds are affected by worms, your birds will end up dropping in production, in laying. So I've actually recommended this deworming to so many farmers out there whose birds are dropped in production, and they realize that after doing the deworming, their birds start performing very well. So that is why it is very important to deworm the birds. And also in most cases, when the worms becomes too much in the farm, you realize that some birds end up dying. So to avoid death in your poultry farms, you must deworm the birds. And let us keep deworming these birds, please. Let us always deworm the birds. Let us always make sure that the water do not pour inside the chicken house, because when the water pour inside the chicken house, especially us who have the deep litter system, and those birds keep on eating those dirty dropping mixed with the water, that is when these worms start developing in our birds. Let us make sure we don't give the birds feeds which are already contaminated. When I say contaminated, some feeds are caked, some feeds already have bad smell, some maize that we mix with our feeds are already spoiled. So those are the things that bring worms in our farms. So that is why we have to be very careful in what our birds are going to consume. Even contaminated water is not good for the birds. Those are the things that bring worms, and honestly these worms can greatly affect your performance. So that is why we should always deworm the birds. So I've always dewormed the birds here. Sometimes I use charcoal and aloe vera or with ginger, but today we are going to use the papaya seeds and we are going to use garlic. So let us go and prepare the herbs and give to the birds. See you right back. Now these are the things that we are going to use to deworm the birds today. We are going to use the papaya seeds and we are going to use garlic. We also have the fresh papaya seeds that we are going to cut from this papaya fruit, and we shall also use them all together, because some of you think that it is only right to use the dry ones, not the fresh ones. But I can tell you that if you don't have the dry ones, you can use the fresh ones. If you don't have the fresh ones, you can use the dry ones. So if you don't have these two things, you can use charcoal in aloe vera, you can use charcoal and garlic, you can use charcoal and ginger. Okay, and if you don't have the garlic still, you can also use aloe vera with the papaya seeds. Okay, but these two ingredients are compulsory: the charcoal and the papaya seeds. So if you're not using the papaya seeds, you must use charcoal. If you're not using charcoal, papaya seeds must be there. Those two must not miss. But however, you can interchange these ones. You can either put aloe vera, you can put ginger or any other thing, but with the papaya seeds is compulsory. If the papaya seeds is not there, charcoal is compulsory. So let us start preparing our things. So let us first remove these seeds, okay? So when we are deworming, we need the black seeds, okay? We don't need these white ones. We need the black ones. Because this white, the white ones like this, it's still raw. It's not yet ripe, eh? So we need the black seeds. Now, if you're going to deworm using 1 liter of water, you will get this tablespoon and scoop one like this, okay, in 1 liter of water. And then you will use 3 cloves of garlic in 1 liter of water. You will blend the water, then you give it to the bird, okay? We are going to use 1 tablespoon in 1 liter of water. Then we shall mix with 3 cloves of garlic. We blend with 1 liter of water and give it to our birds. We are not going to mix that water with any other water. That is what we are going to give to the birds. And we are going to deworm these birds at least, okay, depending on the condition of the birds, but at least for 3 to 5 consecutive days every month. So we are going to cover this and let it sit at least for 1 hour before we give it to the birds. Okay, you can let it sit up to 3 hours. Okay, but for me, I'm going to leave it to sit only for 1 hour. So let us cover it first. So I'm going to first serve my papaya fruits to the birds as we wait for that. Okay, as we collect other drinkers in the farm. Guys, I've decided to remove the litter because I want to spray my chicken house. So you can see I've just removed the litter yesterday, and today someone is coming to pick them. Okay, so my farm is a little bit squeezed. And you can see I've removed all the drinkers. So if you're going to deworm those birds, make sure you first make them thirsty a little bit. Okay, the birds are really so thirsty. deworming is not a joke, especially if you have the deep litter system. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for loving me. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.